is going to be like me. We want to experience feeding the giraffes. Can they do that?
Absolutely. Starting last weekend, or the weekend Friday meetings, you want to get here around 10:30, purchase your ticket, and then it goes pretty quickly. Those giraffes can consume leaves, but the nice thing is the photo opportunities, the chance to get up face to face with these gorgeous animals, and it's truly an experience worth paying for, and we're delighted to be able to offer it. Hopefully we'll expand the face, but having that beautiful face come right up, there you go, there's George showing you what a beautiful face he has. That's an experience that money just can't buy. It's priceless.
Oh, those big brown eyes, those big eyelashes, they remind me of my daughters. Darde, that's a terrible thing to say, but they got beautiful eyes. Darde, I want to ask you.
They do.
So,
absolutely. I'll take anti-Semitism there.
COVID-19 has had an impact on the zoo. I understand that your feeding costs are greater than $30,000 per month. What can we as a public do to support this incredible treasure of the zoo that we have here in Chattanooga?
There are a lot of things you can do. Of course, we invite you to come out and see our animals, but if you're a little hesitant about that, follow us on Facebook, but more importantly, think about a donation or possibly even a membership to the zoo, because if you're a member, you get first dibs on everything. And we really like showing our animals off to people, and our members always get first choice. They also get discounts, so that lettuce leaf will cost you $1 less if you're a member. But we really value our members, and they're one of the biggest sustaining revenue sources that we have. We have admissions, retail, and then memberships that are our big three winners. And so during the COVID issues, we had to rely on memberships, and we even ran a during time closed, allowing purchase for the surprise. And so that was really great to see those numbers go up. And also donations came in, and we saw new donors. We've been talking over the last few days. We saw a lot of people who were not previously members or donors give to our COVID crisis fund, and that really lifted our, because there were people out there who hadn't had a real relationship with the zoo before, but they recognized for sure that the zoo needed them and these gorgeous animals needed them, and it was amazing. So things are somewhat back to normal, although normal changes every day, it seems like, but the zoo certainly is open now and welcoming guests.
Well, so I bought a family membership. We've had a family membership over the years, and it is amazing, the value. And guys, I'm serious. The value is amazing. But we want to give away a family membership to the zoo. To
That's
parents,
awesome.
all the kids under 18. We're going to give that away. We're going to ask people to go on to NoogaConnection.tv and sign up for the contest. Let's give that away and get more people out to the zoo. Darde, I love what you've got going on out there. Can you tell us, we want more information for the zoo. Where would we look online?
Go to www.chatzoo.org. Also check out our Facebook and Instagram. We do up to date on those, and we have a lot of followers, and that's thanks to, I think people think we have this huge marketing and communications team. It's like 3 people in the department, and the memberships too. So, Hannah, that you've worked with, is one of those team members, and they make it possible for us to have all we have here. But we like to say our volunteers who've stepped up during this as well, and this community who just, they believe in us, and we open checks sometimes that come in that we weren't expecting, and that's the best feeling when you open up a check that you didn't think was coming, and it's for an amount you sure didn't expect. So good times have been happening for sure, and it gives us a lot of confidence and certainly the courage to keep moving forward.
You do have a great team. When I was allowed to go behind the scenes, great folks there. You can tell they care about your animals and that they care about the visitors and the community. It's wonderful. Darde, we would love to have you on.
I'm just going to brag a little bit and say that love of animals extends from the administration building all the way over to the nutrition center. Everybody here cares about animals, and that's why we make such a good team.
Yes, ma'am. I have no doubt. And we would love to have you on another time telling us about new events and what's going on. And let's support our zoo, because it truly is an amazing zoo, especially for the community of our size. The zoo just is phenomenal, and it's such a good time. We're not traveling this summer. My kids are like, Dad, we got to go see the giraffes. So we have, and it's wonderful. Darde, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy, and we hope to see you again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, ma'am. I am pleased to bring you Nooga Connection. I have a deep connection with Chattanooga area. I grew up in Chickamauga. After high school, I started at UTC, but then I went into the Air Force. Loved my time. Got out, finished up my degree at UTC. I met my incredible wife there. I went back into the military as a judge advocate after law school, but my wife and I came back and got married on campus at the Patton Chapel. Now, I came back to Chattanooga after all of that to practice law. I'm not going to bore you with the details of that, but needless to say, we love this area and we're really pleased to be able to bring this to you and try to give back to this incredible community. Speaking of UTC, we are joined by the Chancellor of UTC, Dr. Stephen Angle. Hello, friends. Today we have a real treat for you. We are going to bring Dr. Stephen Angle, the Chancellor of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, on to talk a little bit about the changes that have been forced upon the campus and some of the big and hard decisions he's had to make due to COVID-19. Dr. Angle, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you, Scott.
Thank you, sir. I've enjoyed talking with you. It's always amazing to speak with someone with a very large brain. It intimidates me, but I enjoy it nonetheless. So, sir, COVID-19 made some changes. You had to make some changes at the end of last year. What are we looking for the reopening of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga?
So we're preparing for the fall semester. We're working on housing, how to safely return students to campus, how to have social distancing, the precautions that need to be in place, having a daily health check report for our faculty, staff, and students, following up on anyone who has symptoms with testing that we're arranging through our health center here, and then with laboratory that will process those within 24 hours. Then following up with contact tracing with, we've had students and faculty working with the Hamilton County Health Department over the summer to hone their skills on contact tracing so that they can know what they're doing and follow the right process. And then the close contacts of those individuals who were positive will then be tested. And hopefully we'll be able to manage this coronavirus on campus by then also having masks worn on campus, practicing good hygiene, cleaning often the space on campus, and making certain that we follow CDC guidelines and best practices to contain this virus. Now, when we have over 3,600 students living on our campus,
wow.
And so it provides another element to managing a classroom situation, which will certainly have social distancing, reconfigured classroom space, more options for online courses, hybrid courses taught in face-to-face as well as online mode. So we're trying to do everything we can to gear up and look at best practices so that we can provide a great classroom experience. And then how do we provide the out of the classroom experience?
Yes.
That is so important to the life of a student, the clubs, the organizations, the opportunity to talk to people, to interact with others. Chamberlain Field, where students hang out and gather. How are we going to do this in a safe way? So we're looking forward to the fall. Our enrollment is up now, over 100 students from last year at this time. We have a very long waiting list, over 500 students for housing. So we're anticipating we will open full with housing and have a very strong class that we're looking forward to our new mocks coming onto campus.
Absolutely, and the students coming onto campus affect the community. They change the feel of downtown, and it's a big deal for all of us. I think having what they call an urban campus, love having the students. They make a difference. The businesses around here are looking forward to them returning, and so are we, Dr. Engel. I know that this has been a burden, a heavy burden, and I mean, you had what, almost 12,000 students at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I know that you're thinking about the parents and the parents' concern and safety. It's amazing to hear the steps that you've gone through and very seriously have gone through to try to keep them safe. But I've got a hidden area that sometimes we look at lightly, but it's also a huge income generator. University of Tennessee at Chattanooga mocks football. Do we have any idea what's going to happen this fall with football games?
We're looking to have our football team report early in July, and every student athlete will be tested. We've already had some report and gone through testing so that we can manage the virus. We have our coaching staff going through the same process. We're going to have a great team, and they're really looking forward to playing. Rusty Wright, our head coach, is just a phenomenal coach, person. We're so delighted to have an alum as our head football coach, who's such a fine man. And, he's looking forward to playing football. We're working this out with the Southern Conference. We have a call next week with the athletic directors and the chancellors and presidents of the institutions to try to plot this out. We're working with Finley Stadium Corp to be able to safely have games. What's the capacity of the stadium going to be? We will be able to sell less tickets in all likelihood. People will be spaced out, but we're looking forward to playing football.
UTC is near and dear to my heart. I started back in the early '80s and went in the military and finished up in '91, I believe. And I met the most incredible woman there, and she agreed to marry me. And we got married at the Patton Chapel. I'm just curious, is the chapel open for weddings? Do we anticipate it'll be open again for weddings, or what's going on, or in that capacity at this time?
We're hoping right now it's not open for weddings. We're hoping to have it open September or October. We haven't set a date yet. We're looking at CDC guidelines, how to handle this, but we had suspended the weddings. It was a very difficult decision. It disappointed a number of couples and their families. But we just didn't feel that we could safely have events like that on our campus. So we're hoping to get that back going. It's a wonderful part of our campus, and so many of our students, our faculty, staff who have been married there appreciate that as a centerpiece of our campus. So we're hoping to get back soon.
Dr. Engel, one more area I'd like to cover with you. You talked about the potential for, or the questions regarding attendance at the ball games. I know that's a revenue generator for the school. Alumni, businesses, individuals that recognize the treasure that we have with the University of Tennessee being here in Chattanooga. UTC is an amazing school. What can we do to help? How can we help? For those that want to give, can you tell us how to do that, where we would go? Is there an online portal somewhere that we can go to try to support our school?
Well, we do have a link on our website to give to UTC through the University of Chattanooga Foundation. Giving, this community means so much to this campus because it's part of the educational experience that our students have, getting to know people here, working with companies, organizations, the city, county government, the foundations. All of those interactions are important. So certainly we have an emergency fund and the Downey Emergency Fund, funded by a couple. The wife was an alum, and we appreciate their generosity, and that's grown quite a bit. And we know our students are going to need it because they need to work and have some income over the school year. We have a student body that works very hard and helps fund their own education. And so anything that our community can do to provide jobs, internships, opportunities for students to engage, to work, or a direct gift would be appreciated.
Oh, that's terrific, Dr. Engel. And we've talked about a lot in a short period of time. Is there anything that you would like to cover that I haven't? Any message or anything that you'd like to share with us?
I think that at the University of Tennessee, speaking for the faculty, the staff, the students, our alumni and community, we are so proud of our students and what they have accomplished and what they will accomplish in the future. We have the future of our society on our campus, and it's so exciting to be able to touch the future every day. But it's just amazing the maturity and wisdom of the young people that we get to interact with, who are our students. They are an incredible group. It gives me great hope for the future, because they're going to go out and solve the problems that need to be solved, and to have the relationships that are going to help them position, I think, our nation, the state, our community to be a major player and be very significant in solving issues that we need to address.
Yes, sir. And leadership is top down. You lead from the front, not from the rear. And we've got a good man in charge this most difficult time. And Dr. Engel, we greatly appreciate the heart that you have, the natural gifts and abilities that you have, and the effort that you're putting into helping lead these students and resolve some issues at a most difficult time in our history. Sir, I thank you for your time today very much. If you would tell us one more time the website, people can come on and take a look at UTC, learn more. I'll tell you, I've got a 14-year-old daughter, and I'm trying to push her hard to UTC because, well, I don't want my oldest to leave me so soon, but UTC has so much to offer. Like I said, it's a real treasure. Could you share your website with us one more time, please, sir?
It's utc.edu. And if you look at the top bar in the gold background, there'll be a Give to UTC button, and that's how someone would be able to get connected very quickly. But all the information, COVID-19 facts, Q&A is there, frequently asked questions. And as we've been asked questions, we've been cataloging them and putting the answers up. And so we hope people will keep asking us things. And speaking as one person who's part of a team of people who are so committed and passionate about what they do to help our students in this community, it's a real honor. But I am fortunate to work with an incredible group of faculty, staff, our students, and our leadership group is just top notch. During this time, I mean, we've been making it up and relying on our sense of values, who we are and what we hold near and dear to make decisions. And our leadership team has just responded in a phenomenal fashion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Engel, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today. I'm very appreciative, and I'm sure our community as well. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Scott. Nice to speak with you.
You as well, sir. So I'll ask you, let's make this interactive. Please let us know, what guests would you like to see on our show? What events would you like to see covered? What topics should we talk about? If you would contact us via our website at noogaconnection.tv and let us know. Or please comment on social media. We will read every comment, and I'm very grateful for your input. Friends, during these challenging times where people are in need, I wanted to find out more about the Chattanooga Area Food Bank. From the Chattanooga Area Food Bank, we've got Sophie Moore, the Director of Community Outreach and Healthcare Partnerships. Hello, Sophie.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Glad to have you aboard. So before we talk about the impact of COVID on your organization, can we talk about your footprint and your reach out there? Because I had no idea your coverage area, Sophie.
A lot of people don't know the scope of our operations, but we actually cover 20 counties in Southeast Tennessee and Northwest Georgia, over 7,000 square miles. And it's a huge area. So we actually work with more than 200 nonprofit partner agencies to help us get our mission out there. So think food pantries, soup kitchens. Odds are, if someone has a program feeding those in need in that area, they're probably working with us to get food.
Okay, and so we know your footprint. Give me an idea. Last year, how many pounds of food did you put out? I was fascinated to hear this number.
Last year, we distributed about 15.7 million pounds of food, which is about the equivalent of 13 million meals. And we're able to do that again through our partners, but also through our membership in Feeding America. We're able to access national networks of food purchasing, incredible donation sources, and more.
Yeah, and that's critical, and I definitely want to talk about that. Tell me this. How has COVID affected or impacted the Chattanooga Area Food Bank?
Initially, we saw a 30% increase in the need for our services. So we changed the way we worked. We added mobile pantries, which is what you see on the screen. We were already operating across our service area, but we added 20 more to make sure we were meeting the need. We tripled the capacity for our emergency food boxes, which is a program in our Chattanooga warehouse. Our partner agencies ramped up their purchasing so they could meet the needs in their communities. And we changed all of our distributions to no touch. So drive-through, protective gear, folks not coming in the building, bringing things out to them so that we could keep our employees and our staff safe, but especially our clients.
So this increased need from COVID, do you anticipate that that's going to resolve itself in the near future?
We actually are preparing for the long term right now. So we had the initial spike in need, but we know it's going to go on for a long time because the economic impact is already proving to be lasting. We're projecting an overall increase of about 40% in food insecurity in our area. And for children, we're expecting that to increase more than 50%. So that it's going to be more like 1 in 5 people overall and 1 in 4 children who don't know where their next meal is coming from.
You know, it's so hard to believe that it happens here in the Chattanooga area, and it's heartbreaking. Sophie, what can we do? So the average guy, the average family, the average professional ladies out there saying, okay, what can I do? I want to help. Give us some guidance on that.
Sure. Well, every $1 that you donate to the Chattanooga Area Food Bank helps to provide 4 meals because of our membership in Feeding America that I mentioned earlier. So we're able to maximize that investment, but also be good stewards of it. So every $1 that's donated to us, of that 95 cents goes straight to food and programs. So we are very, we put that money to work. It can do more than what you or I could do at the grocery store, and able to really spread that across our service area.
Yeah, $1 4 meals. That's amazing. Okay, so how? I want to contribute today. I've done this, Sophie, so I know how easy it is. Can you share with us, how do we go online and give money if we want to do that?
Absolutely. You just go to chatfoodbank.org, chat with 2 T's, foodbank.org. But you can also volunteer, which is something we really need a lot of help with right now too. Just your gifts of service are enough to really make a difference to so many families, and you can sign up to volunteer at our website as well.
I love that. I mean, a lot of us aren't going on vacations this year. We're staying close to home. Why not go down to the food bank and help out? I think that's terrific. Okay, so what about for those in need, Sophie? I mean, the numbers you gave us, there's a tremendous amount of need. If someone needs help, they need food, what would be the next step?
Anyone in need can go to our website, chatfoodbank.org, and click on Hungry, Get Help. And you can select your county or your zip code to find a feeding program near you. You can also, if you're a Hamilton County resident, dial 211 to be connected with a voucher for our emergency food program. And of course, you can always just give us a call as well if you are seeking help. If you are wanting to give help, if you might have a victory garden right now and too much to eat from it, we would be happy to take those homegrown tomatoes and squash off your hands as well. So there's so many different ways to get involved and to get and give help. We love working with our community to help those who need it most.
Sophie, I think that's terrific what you all do. I'm very grateful for your service. I do want to ask you to come back on, chat with us about events that you have upcoming. Let's continue to spread the word. Like I said, I think I'm in the know, and I had no idea what your footprint was and what you all did to the extent to which you did your outreach. And thank you so much for that, Sophie. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having us. We're so grateful.
Yes, ma'am. So my friends, as I mentioned during our interview with Darde at the Chattanooga Zoo, we are giving away an annual family pass to visit the Chattanooga Zoo. This pass covers 2 parents and all of your children that live in the household under the age of 18. It's about $100. What a great value. What a great way to support your zoo. But we're going to give away 1 annual pass. Go to our website at noogaconnection.tv to enter. Friends, do you have the hankering for some live music in an outdoor venue and some good food? We have the latest information on the Riverbend Festival. We are now joined by Mickey McCamish, the Executive Director of the Friends of the Festival. Welcome, Captain McCamish.
Scott, thanks so much for having me this morning. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Now, your first year as the Executive Director of the Riverbend Festival, and we get hit with COVID. I'm sure you reached down to all your leadership experience to include 3 decades as a naval officer. Captain McCamish, what decision did you come up with as far as the festival goes this year?
Well, Scott, it was a difficult decision just in terms of the festival had been around for 38th year. We were all geared up to go into our 39th year. The virus came in, our board met numerous times, and just felt that with as large as the festival is, the number of people, the 33 to 40,000 people that come out to the festival, with the way the virus is out of control, no vaccine, we just felt that people would feel a little bit uncomfortable coming out. And for everyone's safety, we felt it was better to start looking firstly at rescheduling the festival. And that's what we did. We looked at rescheduling the festival from our May the 27th to 30th dates to in July, to in September, to then into October the 8th through the 11th time period. But then after going through and looking at all those dates and then still seeing how the virus was out of control, we decided to cancel Riverbend this year. But we are going to be doing a fall festival. It just will not be a Riverbend festival. And again, when you think of Riverbend, you think of large crowds. Well, yes, we're abandoning that idea right now, and it will be a live festival, but it's going to be on a much smaller scale. It will be on the same side as Riverbend. We will have probably a 2-day festival. We're still working on the artists that will be performing during that 2-day period. but it will be a much smaller crowd, perhaps half the size of a Riverbend. So we're talking in the 15 to 20,000 people, but remember they're over an area in excess of a mile, so that there's plenty of room to carry out all of the CDC protocols, the Tennessee Pledge protocols, and the Hamilton County Department of Health protocols that we will follow through to make sure it's done in a very, very safe manner. And that includes masks, providing free masks for people, doing social distancing. You know, you can do some fun things, like thought about even putting like hula hoops on the ground. And you could get people to stand inside the hula hoops, and then you separate the hula hoops by 6 feet, for example. Or you can do ground markings. The idea is to produce ground markings, make it a little bit of fun, and still enforce the social distancing. But it's a fun way to do it. Just always remind people of that we have to abide by the rules to keep everyone safely, not only yourself, but all those people around you. So we are moving forward with that.
Yeah, I love the way you're thinking outside the box, or maybe outside the hula hoop. I'm not sure what we want to call it. But you also have something else going on. And tell us, what are we going to be seeing evenings in July, starting in July?
We do. For the past 12 years, this would be year 13 coming up, we've done a Riverfront Nights music series. And this year, that series, what we've done is, because of what we've been through thus far in the first 6 months of 2020, the pandemic, the tornado that we hit. So we've got hit twice. And then, of course, there's been the protest march that occurred. And so what we felt was that we really needed to come up with a theme for Riverfront Nights. And this year, we've developed the theme of uniting Chattanooga, and call it healing and uniting of our community, and really using music as the vehicle to do that. And so what we've done is we've themed this year our Riverfront Nights to call it Chattanooga Unite, a healing and uniting on the river. And that will start with July the 11th, the 18th, the 25th, August the 1st, 8th, and 15th as our live summer music series that we're calling Chattanooga Unite this year. And it's an opportunity. We've expanded the space, we've doubled the space, and again, keeping in mind of social distancing and having free face masks for everyone. I've got 18,000 face masks right here in my office, in our warehouse, I should say, that to make available to the public. And we'll have hand sanitizing stations for people. We'll have about 5 or 6 of those out there. We'll have with our portalettes, we'll have them sanitizing units inside the portalettes themselves. Plus we'll have volunteers that'll be hand sanitizing all the way from microphones, from the artist. We'll have the standing 15-foot distance away from the stage. We'll have all sorts of ground markings to make sure that when people purchase the food, the beverages, that they do follow the social distancing guidelines. Of course, all of our staff, our volunteers will be in masks, and depending on the positions that one has, even maybe gloves in some cases. But we're going through the extra miles to make sure that it is a safe event. But we feel that our community needs an uplifting event. We really need something. The news is so sad. I've turned on the news, and I must admit to you, I've gotten so that I put it on mute sometimes. I just watch more of Andy Griffith because it makes me feel better. But
this coming from a man who served during the Vietnam era, I mean, it is heavy. It absolutely is very heavy. So tell me this.
It is, Scott.
Tell me this, Captain McCamish. You obviously have a lot of moving parts and a lot going on. Love the idea of music. And if you were here to see me in person, you'd see that I also enjoy food. You mentioned food and beverages. Tell us a little bit about the food and beverage, adult beverages, I presume. And what are we talking about as far as food?
We'll have adult beverages, and we've invited a lot of our local restaurants, food trucks, to come and participate, because these businesses have been without any business for a number of months. So it's an opportunity for them, and so we've invited them at basically just the cost of electricity. I mean, it's little or no cost to them to come out and participate, and to give them the opportunity to start to earn some business for themselves. And by having all people coming out to the event, then they can see these food vendors and perhaps even expand their business more. We'll also have things for the children starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll have a kids talent program that will be led under the direction of Amber Carrington, who was a finalist for the runner-up on The Voice. So she has got, for the 6 weeks, she's got a kids talent program lined up for us as well. We've got our artists all lined up, and we'll be doing on July the 11th, our plans are for a Heroes Night. Of course, we're coming up on the 5th anniversary of the 5th year of remembering the fallen five. And that's really close to a lot of us. We were in the middle of that shooting when it occurred on July the 16th of 2015, but we were right there in the middle of the shooting. And in other jobs within the community that I do, it does involve me going to the Navy Operations Support Center pretty frequently. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, the terrorists came in the gate right by where I usually park my car whenever I'm over there. So we have a real close connection with the Navy Operation Support Center. But that will be part of Heroes Night, and we'll also, all the essential workers, the doctors, the nurses, the essential food suppliers, all of those will recognize as part of Heroes Night. We'll have the Navy Sea Cadets that will be a part of the program in presentation of colors and the singing of the national anthem. And we'll conclude the program with God Bless America.
I love that. Now, Captain McCamish, if you could remind us, what is going to be the cost of the Chattanooga Unite events, and where can we look for more information?
That's the beauty. The beauty is it's free to the public. It's free. Because we believe in it, and the sponsors that we have to underwrite the Chattanooga Unite feel that this is something the community is needed, and they want to offer it at no cost to the community. And all one has to do is really go to ChattanoogaUnite.com. You go there, you click on ChattanoogaUnite.com, and it will lead you right to the website. And if there's ever any questions at all that they don't find the answers on the website, which we tried to keep fresh, just call the office at 423-756-2212.
So, Captain McCamish, you have an incredibly colorful background. Love to talk more and get into your background, but we don't have time for that today. I know you've got a lot going on. I do want to ask you, though, I know that you're quite a golfer. If you could share with us, what would be one of your favorite holes to play in Chattanooga, and why?
Scott, my favorite hole is at Chattanooga Golf and Country Club, and I like hole number 1. And the reason I like hole number 1 is because it's you have a view of the Tennessee River, you have a view of the mountains, you have a view of all of the greenery around it. And I think that pretty well captures Chattanooga. I think it just captures our city of being the outdoor mecca that Chattanooga is, plus all of the things that takes place on the river, all the way from the Ironman to all the regattas that take place. And I think it just really represents Chattanooga. And I say I like that as my number 1 hole. I like it until I tee the ball up and I hit it into the river. Then I lose. I don't like it as well.
Understood. Well, Captain McCamish, I have to thank you for your time today. I thank you for all that you're doing out there. This Chattanooga Unite is just an incredible idea. And we would love to have you on as we move through these events, get more information, share a little bit more with you. But again, sir, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Nooga Connection is about you. Who would you like to see on our show as a guest? What topics would you like to cover? What information would you like to get out? Let us know at noogaconnection.tv or make a comment on our social media. Next, we're going to be joined by the mayor of Hamilton County, Tennessee, Jim Coppinger. We are very fortunate today to be joined by Hamilton County Mayor Jim Coppinger. Mayor Coppinger, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on, sir. I have read your bio and been fascinated by the fact that you're a man who's been in service for this community since 1977. From a fireman, what I love is you worked your way up. You were a fireman, you became the fire chief, you were a city councilman, and now a mayor for the almost 10 years now?
It's a little over 9 years.
So you definitely have a heart for this community, and it's good to have someone with your experience and your passion during this, I would presume, most difficult time with COVID-19. I doubt you've seen anything on this scale. Can you share with us, sir, how has COVID-19 affected Chattanooga, talking in particular about tourism and the economy?
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for having me today, Scott. But there has been a tremendous impact on our economy here in Hamilton County as a result of the COVID-19 virus, as well as our tourism. As you well know, our tourism is over $1 billion economy within itself, and we're experiencing a rather large dip in the tourism industry here in Hamilton County. As far as the rest of the economy goes, we went through a shutdown period, and in doing so, a lot of businesses that we have been come back open, but we have had some that could not survive the shutdown, and that's really sad. We were at an all-time low in unemployment here in Hamilton County until the COVID virus hit. And, now we're fighting our way back, but we're nowhere near where we were prior to that. Again, I spoke to one of our business leaders this morning that called me and was talking about, what if there's a second surge, that kind of thing. And he was telling me that in his particular business that he would expect it just in that short period of shutdown for a matter of weeks. He said it'd take him 4 years to get back to where he was.
Wow. Sir, in all your years of service for this community, COVID-19 certainly must be the most far-reaching issue that you've had to deal with. Can you tell us how it's impacted our tourism and the economy, and perhaps what we can do for that as citizens of this county?
Well, the COVID-19 virus has had a tremendous amount of impact on our economy and certainly our tourism. Many people know that our tourist business here is about $1 billion per year, actually a little more. We're seeing a steady drop in our tourists as of right now. Hopefully it'll start to come back as things continue to open up. And as for our local economy, as we talk with the business leaders, one of which I talked with just early this morning, was telling me that in their particular business that they anticipate just in the few weeks that we shut down, the impact to last for about 4 years to be back to where they were in 2019. So as you can tell, it's been a tremendous amount of effect on our local economy. But what we need people to do, and what we encourage people to do, is to get out once again to support our local businesses. But as you're doing this, we know it's really important if you have a pre-existing condition or an underlying condition that you don't need to be the one that's out and about. This virus is, again, extremely contagious. So if you're able to get out and you're able to support our businesses, wear a mask when you go out. That's extremely important. A mask protects you from others, and it protects others from you. If you happen to be asymptomatic and carrying the virus, you won't be spreading it. The other thing we need for you to do is to socially distance. And by that, we just mean keep 6 feet of distance between you and use good hygiene about washing your hands. As we say to people, most of us have a tendency that we take our hands directly to our face, and as a result of that, you can infect yourself if you've got the virus on your hands. But the mask is extremely important, and again, getting that message out, because we know that 90% or better of this virus is spread airborne, and so this will help, again, to minimize the risk to the community.
You obviously have spent a lot of time on this. I mean, you have all the aspects down, and I can't keep my 5-year-old and 7-year-old. They don't keep their hands out of their face or out of their mouth or whatever orifices on their face. That's difficult to get them to stop. But a lot of people are going to be not traveling as much. They're not going out of town because of COVID. If they'd stay local, we have so much to offer in this community. If they would come and visit our local attractions, I would presume that would help the economy kickstart, help those companies that need the help. Do we have any numbers on how much of our tourism is, I guess, local tourism, if there's such a thing? How many visits to the aquarium or to Rock City or to these different venues are from locals?
Well, there's a good percentage of them that are, but we're still heavily reliant upon people that come in from out of town, because the people that come in to visit us are staying in hotels, that obviously our residents wouldn't be doing. They're going to our restaurants. Some our residents do some, but not as much. So again, the impact is extremely large. We're even just now finished getting a budget approved, as a matter of fact, today. And, we reduced the hotel motel tax portion on our projections directly in half. We think it's going to impact us that poorly.
Well, Mayor Coppinger, I know there's something else that's near and dear to your heart, and that's education. And I know COVID has affected the last part of the school year last year. We don't know what the impact's going to be for the new school year. Can you share with us a little bit about what's happening with education in Hamilton County?
Well, let me just begin with saying that I think that we've got the right leader in Dr. Brian Johnson. I've had the opportunity to work real closely with him the last couple of years, and he has implemented some great programs that are really helping us with our Future Readies program to prepare our young people for an opportunity to either go to college or to actually go out and start a career. And really excited about what's going on in our public schools. We got 44,000 people that get up every morning and go to school here in Hamilton County. And they come from all different types of backgrounds and all different socioeconomic status. And it's been said there's about 78 different languages in our public schools. And so, it really makes us a better place. We're obviously at a very diverse county in our school system. And so I look forward to great things happening when we talk about, everybody having an opportunity. And you can't talk about equity or anything without talking about education, because it's certainly the way, to have a better career and have a better standing as it relates to your socioeconomic background. So really excited about what our schools are doing right now.
Well, I'm excited as well about what's happening in this county, and it's great to have your kind of leadership, sir. I appreciate, and I know we all do, someone who really has a passion and a heart for taking care of this county, seeing improvement, and not just resting on their laurels. I know this has been a difficult time. I know you're incredibly busy, but I want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us. And if you have something you want to talk about, we would love to have you on again. Get the word out, get the message out, sir. And again, I thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Scott. And just we've had a lot of devastating events as it relates to tornadoes and the COVID virus. So again, let's keep our fellow Hamilton Countyans in all of our thoughts and prayers. We all need them moving forward. So thank you for the opportunity to share with you today, Scott.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Friends, I want to give you a reminder. Sign up to win the annual pass for a family to the Chattanooga Zoo. Go to noogaconnection.tv. Friends, that concludes our first show. Thank you for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. Please provide us with feedback. What did you like? What can we improve on? We'd love your comments. Who would you like to see on here as guests? And what topics would you like for us to cover? We're doing this for you, and we really do want to hear from you. I thank you for joining us. God bless, and we'll see you next week.